content over everything.
Fantastic website. So visit tango.church and give your prayers to Tan the man, peace be upon him. Tan is still keeping up the good fight on the streets of Paris. Tan the Messiah. In fact, Tan was actually attacked in Paris a couple of weeks ago.
You want us to wait? All right. Adrian, Hassan wants you to wait. Shall I put you on speakerphone?
Hassan wants me to wait.
I'll put you on
really?
speakerphone.
Who's Hassan?
Put me on. Tell him to wait for the videos to come out.
What's your speech about? Come on now.
What would you like me to talk about?
Well, I want you to answer about...
Hi, Hassan.
Hurry up.
We're going now, we're going. Just get
Yeah, I want you to talk about your... What was it I ended it on in the last bloody conversation?
Oh, conspiracy.
I called him a racist or something. What was it?
Oh, so has anyone here heard of a man called? You ready, COE? I don't want to come too soon.
Oi.
No homo at the end of that.
No homoerotica here.
That's right.
This is a homosexual meeting, I will say. Some of those that just joined may not be keen on this. That's called satire, by the way, for those that don't understand the Western humour. So, has anyone here heard of a man called Stephen Yaxley Lennon?
Yes.
Yes. Commonly known as Tommy Robinson. A man that I've had the pleasure to meet, a man that I've had the pleasure to spend time with. A man that a number of people standing beside me have met and have spent a lot of time with.
Big up Tommy Robinson.
Not least Raj Tommy Robinson. A man that does not have a racist bone in his body.
You don't know.
Tommy Robinson is not racist,
I'm not saying he is, but you
is
can't know
not
everything.
xenophobic, is not a Nazi,
Okay.
is not far right.
Is he an ethno-Nazi?
As Shazia Hobbs said, he is not far right, he is only damn right.
Yes. Okay.
The man does not have a racist bone or cell in his body.
Right, okay.
So when you hear far left numpties continually slandering him by calling him a racist, by calling him a Nazi, by calling him far right, challenge those numpties. Ask those numpties for one shred of evidence for his far right views, for his Nazi views, for his racist views. You ask for one shred of evidence. Football hooliganism, the man over here points out. What's that got to do with Nazism? What's that got to do with far right? You see, there is not one shred of evidence on this planet for that man being a Nazi, for that man being racist. Would anyone like to put any evidence forward for him being far right, for being Nazi? You see, even the mainstream media stopped doing that. They stopped slandering him as a far-right racist. And do you know why? Because he started challenging them. Because he started getting some money behind him that funded legal support. And the media immediately stopped calling him racist and Nazis. But if you notice now, yes, he's in prison now, and all of the media have started doing it again.
Why is it that can I ask something? Hold on. Can I say something?
Get on with it, Raj.
I've never been threatened here, had to have my turban knocked off, but I had by him.
Very good point. We here rabid, vile racism here at Speaker's Corner every single week. Every single week. We hear vile, rabid, nasty racism here at Speaker's Corner every week. And who do we hear that vile, nasty, rabid racism from here at Speaker's Corner every week? I'll give you one man who we hear that from. And that man is called Omar Mohammed. A vile, nasty, inherently racist bigot who thinks nothing of calling people monkeys, baboons, coconuts,
Careful,
Uncle
dog.
Toms,
That's right.
vile,
Yes.
racist diatribes,
That's it.
week
You're
in,
Indian.
week
You're
out,
Indian.
from the wasabi idiots that come to Speaker's
Wahhabi,
Corner.
Wahhabi.
And they think they're going to get away unnoticed.
It sounds like a food, doesn't it?
Wasabi.
Wahhabi.
It's peppery and nasty to the tongue. Peppery and nasty to the tongue. So I said there was one main reason that I was coming here today.
He got a paper
And
today.
before I lose my voice,
Yes.
Tommy Robinson said last
Big up
week.
Tommy Robinson! Big up Tommy Robinson!
So here we go again.
This guy broken on my turban off
It's
Tommy hasn't.
Sunday night, the 10th of June,
Sunday afternoon, by the way.
2018.
One at a time.
I'll send it to the
wind
police.
up.
I'll send it to the police.
It's on video that this man said, "I'll knock your effing turban off" last week. He thinks we're blind to death.
Raghead twice. Raghead twice. He broken on my turban off. He said, "I'm going to effing knock your rag off." And he calls Tommy
It's
racist.
Sunday
He calls Tommy
night,
racist.
the 10th
I don't
of
get racist
June.
from white people. It's brown people that are
Raj,
racist.
The news of the amazing scenes yesterday in London are just filtering their way to me. Before I start on the positives of yesterday's demonstration, let me first start with some negatives. Let me share with you part of my wife's letter I received yesterday. School rang me today before I went to work and said that X, one of Tommy's sons, was really upset at school. To be honest, he isn't managing that well. He cries at every opportunity there is. His mate, Sam, said to him, "I'm doing a 5K run this weekend with my dad." And X said, "Well, I can't do that with my dad, can I?" and ran off crying. He cries himself to... No, his son hasn't. He cries himself to sleep. Sleeps with your pillow and asks me 50 times a day, "When is Dad coming home?" I can't even give him a rough date yet because you haven't been given any. I just have to keep telling him it's not for too long, nothing will change, and he needs to be brave to make you proud. He said to me, "Right, I'm going to go and do something bad myself so they can put me in jail with Dad."
He will go to different jail, by the way.
I'm not going to lie, reading that broke my heart.
Yes, break.
The prison removed my wife's phone number over a week ago, so I haven't been able to speak with my children. It also upsets me that in my son's head, he must think that his dad has done something bad to end up in prison. But before I feel too sorry for myself, I should put it into one perspective. I'm away from my family for a short duration. Members of our armed forces children must go through this all the time, which is why I admire the sacrifices that they have made, past and present. I'm not going to go into detail about my appeal, just that it's now been lodged. What I will talk about is the difference that you have all made to me. When I landed in prison, I was truly gutted what my family were about to go through. Gutted for those who I was in discussion with, who will rely on me to tell their stories. I was also adamant I would be killed in prison this time. When I was leading the EDL, I was sentenced to 10 months in prison in 2012. I was separated from everyone for my own problems and kept in solitary confinement.
How long is this?
It's 4 pages.
It's 4
Go away if
pages.
you're too bored.
He's all right, leave him alone, mate. He's good, guys.
I
we have to read
believe
through
that
that page,
because the
please?
government feared what may happen on the streets,
Yes, yes.
if I was murdered in prison, Lee Rigby was beheaded in 2013,
cannot
and
be
our
imagined.
government witnessed that a soldier can be beheaded and no one will really react. I was then sent to prison in 2014 for 18 months. I was literally fed to the wolves. I was lucky to escape alive, fighting my way through violent beatings at the hands of Muslim inmates. The government, yes, listen.
The same
The
ones that
government
knocked my drag
knew
off.
I could be killed, and number one really didn't do
What did he say?
anything.
Oh, it was somebody
It was a
else's
sad
You
moment for
started
myself,
inbreeding from
realising that if I
Did you
was
go and
murdered,
shag your flipping
my
cousins
death
and
would
that?
not
Did you
make
not?
any difference
Did you
or
not?
change.
Did you not?
I also realised my family would not
Did you
be
not?
looked
Did
after
you not?
and would go on to struggle for their safety and stability.
Don't ignore him. Absolutely ignore him. Ignore him. He's an idiot trying to bait you. Don't rise to the bait.
Did you not?
Look at what this man is doing. This is the sort of bullying, intimidation we get week in, week out. Sorry, I'll carry.
You got 3 pages to go, please.
Oh, what a change 4 years has made. In the first few days here, I began to hear that thousands were protesting outside Downing Street. This within 24 hours of my abduction by the state. I was told your petition was 100,000, then 300,000, then 500,000. I heard people were climbing the gates of Downing Street. I thought the people telling me must be getting it wrong. They must be getting confused with the Day for Freedom. I was completely unaware what was unfolding outside of the prison. A worldwide Free Tommy movement. I was in danger in my first few days in this prison, houseless Muslim prisoners. Then something changed. I was whisked from my cell and wing and taken separately to safety. I believe now this was the moment that Lord Pearson spoke up about my safety. His actions could have literally saved my life. I then heard protests were spreading across the globe. I heard politicians, police, barristers were all speaking out for me.
Alex Jones.
I've heard so many people who've sat on the fence
He's a freedom
for
fighter.
years were now speaking out. To hear that 20 to 30,000 people travelled to London this weekend to stand in solidarity with me is an amazing feeling. I am truly gobsmacked at the reaction from the public. I feel so loved and appreciated. I receive a bag of letters and emails every day. I read every one. I'm so grateful. I want to say thank you to every single person who has supported me.
Thank you.
Infowars.com.
Infowars.com's writing all the thousands of daily letters, yes. I understand how difficult it is to speak out. I understand that many people would have feared a backlash from friends or even from work for speaking out on my behalf. And I am truly... Don't buy into it, Raj.
That's why.
I am truly grateful to people for standing with me.
Police.
Free speech is not free when it has social consequences.
Say it again.
I sit here happy that this sentence...
That's why.
Is it all about you, you stupid little boy? Grow up! Always little boys, isn't it? Little man syndrome. Except for some little boys like Tommy Robinson have balls. All little boys don't.
Are you saying Thomas is a boy?
Free speech is not free, not when it's social consequences. I sit here happy that this sentence has backfired on the establishment. Happy that the public reaction has sent a message of the consequences if I am murdered during this sentence. I have said for so long that there will be a moment in our country. None of us know what that moment will be, but it will change the direction of this nation. I think deeply about this, and for a while now. I've been sure that I will be murdered for opposing Islam. A scary thought, but not as scary as thinking it will make no difference. Although I sit here smiling with the belief that my murder would utterly start a revolution. I'm shaking, laughing out loud. What may seem mad, but knowing this is satisfactory, I've always said I would sacrifice my life tomorrow if it would end the Islamic takeover of this beautiful island.
He wouldn't.
Our battle is not as simple as against flesh and blood,
He'd be the first one
but
to
we
run,
battle a
and he'd be in
system,
solid you can
a
find him.
corrupt system.
Just like his friend Tommy Robson.
It's not going to happen!
I have so many plans of what I want to do when I get out. To hear that Gert Wilders travelled and spoke in London is so exciting for me. When I started my activities, he looked to create and make life-changing decisions to speak out against Islam. He has been an inspiration to me. I can't list all the people I need to thank. There are so many. From Alex Jones, Infowars, Gerard Batten of UKIP, Lord Pearson, Raheem, Katie Hopkins, my cousin Kevin Carroll. Thoroughly straightforward for me in the day.
How can you talk about Islam
Donald
when you're
Trump
caught tax
Jr.
frauding?
for tweeting for
mortgage
me.
fraud.
I'd have done 6 months just alone for that recognition.
You did 6 months of being up an officer.
Junior. The list could go on and on. I'll do my proper thank yous upon my release. One person I have to thank is my wife. When I finally get through to her on the phone from prison, I asked her, "Have you had enough yet?" I've not been a great husband, but she has been a perfect wife,
You haven't been a
an
great human
amazing
being.
mother. I simply could not get through this without my family. So Jenna, if you're reading this letter, then you know I love you and I miss you. My mates will ruin me for this soppy shit.
He misses.
Lots of people say I give them hope.
He misses his
But I
Patreon
want
more.
you to all know that
That's why
your
I rag
reaction,
off.
whether it be
That's why I
supporting
call me a
my
raghead.
family,
He says seek
paying
people.
for legal
My
costs,
brother not my rag
or
off.
just sharing videos
And he
and
wants to knock
tweets,
their rag
Paying
off.
for
had
legal
all
props.
given me hope
The viewers are
and
paying
an
for your legal
absolute
props.
privilege feeling.
The viewers are paying for your legal props.
Knowing that there are more plans for demonstrations until my release is great.
I'm just serving Steve what he's done.
You'll
for
love
5
this
years.
bit. It's now Monday evening and I've just watched Love Island.
I challenge you.
My wife's telephone number has been given back to me and I've now spoken with my children today, so I'm a little less stressed and more relaxed.
Probably for the first
My
time in 5
children
years.
will come to visit me in the near future. Thank you all for the support. It's your outcry and your reaction that will keep me safe. Please know how
Solitary
inspired
confinement will
and
keep you
grateful
safe.
I am. I'm hoping that Lord Pearson and Gerard Batten will be visiting me soon. And lads, if you're ready to bring him, bring Gert along with you. My appeals have gone in, the appeal sentence and the appeal conditions and bail applications made.
What are you appealing?
The establishment thought this would close the book. Did you hear that? The establishment thought this would close the book. Instead, you, the public, have turned the next page.
The public needs to read.
I love and thank
Sorry.
you all. Thank you to the free world.
Free Tommy Robinson! 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 Tommy Robinson! Tommy Robinson! Free Tommy Robinson! Free him! The real racists are here! The guy that says he's not my rag off, that's the guy. Tommy Robinson never said that.
So wait.
Again,
Yo.
4 times.
Can I ask you a question?
Tommy never says
Can I
that.
ask you a quick question?
Yeah, because you didn't tell Tommy to go and fuck his cousin, did ya?
So it's okay to knock my rag off.
I'm gonna ask him.
Oh, look at this, man. They wonder
You
why I
want
don't
groomers
like
back
these
on our
guys.
streets?
These guys, these guys.
These guys. I don't get on with these people.
I'll answer your question. The information that Tommy Robinson gave out on the street outside the court had already been published on numerous websites, including the BBC. So if Tommy Robinson needs to be in jail, so does the BBC.
So wait. Which BBC reporter went up to the
It's the
went up to
BBC
the
website.
No.
It's the BBC website.
Which BBC reporters went up to the defendants and badgered them?
Accused them of guilt.
There were new.
Which
He
reporters?
used the word alleged.
Which reporters? Which reporters, Steve?
Did say get your
There are
food
Steve,
back.
give me the
There's
reporters.
numerous reporters, not least Mo Singh.
Mohan Singh.
Mohan Singh.
Which none of them badgered the
And there were
defendants.
numerous.
None of them badgered the defendants. So please tell me.
They have
What's the
a secret
definition of
witness
badger?
site.
What's the definition of badger?
When was the last time you were in school?
I don't know you.
When was the
You're
last time
using
you were in
that
school?
word.
All right, no worries. Who walks up to a defendant and says, "How you doing, mate? How you doing? I don't really know how the good is doing. How you doing?" Which report did that?
Can I also point out Cliff Richard had helicopters flying over his house?
And do you know what happened?
You
to
see
Cliff?
the inconsistency in our
And do
society.
you know what happened
Cliff
to Cliff
Richard,
Richard?
allegations, helicopters over his house. The court appearance on that day was the court session for the verdict to be announced.
This is where
Not
Steve-
for it to be decided. The court appearance was for the verdicts to be read out. Cliff Richard had a helicopter over his house before he'd even been charged with anything.
And
do you
do you know
see
what
the
happened?
inconsistency?
Do you know what happened with Cliff Richards afterwards? He took those same people to court.
Don't imply he was guilty.
He took those same people to court.
The
So he
decision
held them.
had been
He held them.
made.
Well, no. You brought up Cliff Richards. You brought up Cliff Richards, so we're going to address that. Cliff Richards took these people.
Get the name
He
right.
took
Cliff Wright.
No. He took these people. He took these people to court for being too fast on an allegation
And what
that he
do you
was
think
proved.
Tommy's just about to do? It's called an appeal. It's called an appeal.
Wait. When was the BBC?
We'll see. We'll see.
Can you please tell me when the BBC was on a suspended sentence? 1 second.
wasn't guilty.
Yeah.
He actually asked the policeman standing outside the court, "Am I okay standing here? Am I okay doing this?" To which the policeman said, "Yes, you
So
are."
then why did he confess
Did
on
you miss
camera?
that bit?
Why did he
Did you miss
confess on
that bit?
camera that he knew that he probably
Well,
would be
should we
arrested?
cover that as well? Did you know that the police told Tommy's own solicitor, "We are releasing him"? So his own solicitor didn't bother getting in a car on a train to travel up to Leeds.
Wait.
Let me
Where
finish.
was the one phone
That
call?
was an
Where was
outright
the one phone call?
utter lie.
We all know
he
you
wasn't
get
going
one
to be
phone
released.
call.
They
We
gave
all
him
know
the-
you get one phone
they
call.
gave him
Where was
lo-
the phone call?
They
Why did he
gave
speak to
him
the solicitor?
the local court solicitor
Why didn't
because
Tommy
they'd
speak to his
lied.
own solicitor?
They'd lied through their teeth to Tommy's own solicitor. That's not the behaviour of innocence, is it?
But wait, I'll ask you again. I will ask you again. I'll ask you again.
You don't seem to answer my question.
Why did he
You
not
don't seem
speak
to
to his
answer my
solicitor?
question.
What was your question?
Why did the police lie through their teeth and tell Tommy's own solicitor we are releasing him when that was a barefaced lie, and
Lie?
then they didn't
Lie?
release him and they gave him the basic cheapy freebie local court solicitor?
Which he
Lie?
could have
You know
refused.
why they lie? Because they learn it from the Muslims.
He could have refused.
I'll ask again. I will ask again, Steve. I will ask again. Why didn't Tommy request his solicitor? Why didn't Tommy request his solicitor?
Why did he or didn't
Why
he?
didn't he?
Because he was
If,
given
like
the
you
court
said, no,
bar.
you said a court one turned up. He had the opportunity to reject that and say, no, I want my
Did he?
solicitor. Why didn't he?
I don't know that. Do you
Why
know that?
didn't he?
Do you know he was
Why
given the
didn't he?
opportunity? Could
Do you
he?
know that the police
Could he?
lied?
Could
Do you
he?
know that the police lied?
Well, they did on this occasion.
Where's the evidence?
Listen, Steve, I've got to say.
Where's the evidence, Steve?
That child grooming business is bad.
Steve, I'm sure.
Stop doing it. 85% of groomers, type 1, are from a Muslim background. Sikhs have been affected since the 80s. My cousin as well. Stop doing it.
Because they needed him out of the way because he was
causing trouble.
He was affecting the conflict.
Why do we want groomers back on our streets? Can I ask, why do we want groomers
We
back on our streets?
don't. We don't.
So can I ask why you're trying to get someone who is trying to compromise the whole judicial system?
You know he's not trying to
Steve,
compromise.
Spare me. Spare
You know
me.
he's not trying to
What
compromise.
What is he arrested for and what did he plead guilty to?
Well, whatever the answer to that question is, doesn't
guilty. He pled guilty. I'm so sorry, Steve. I'm so sorry, Steve, to break your heart. I'm sorry. He pled guilty.
Let's wait for the
But give me
appeal.
the
Let's
evidence.
wait for the
Give me
appeal.
evidence. That's
Let's wait
evidence.
for the appeal.
That's evidence.
Let's
That's
wait
evidence.
for the appeal.
Can anyone refute? Can anyone refute that Tommy hasn't pleaded guilty? Can anyone refute that? Can anyone refute that?
Tommy Robbins, come on. Let him say that.
Yeah, you got to read the letter again.
Now, Rod,
You did well.
Rod,
Even though I'm
I want to
heckling
hear
you.
what you have to say about grooming gangs.
We went over this last week. I can go
Yeah.
back again if you want.
I want to. I've seen your video since. You haven't changed your tone, so I want to see what you have to say about grooming gangs.
I'm going to say something. I have certain aspects here that I'm trying to tackle. One is grooming. I will not flex on that. I know for 10 years exactly what's going on, and no matter what you say, I will not change my mind.
You don't have to.
When it comes to Islam, I could change my mind. Number two, if you can provide me proof, I will flex. Yeah, but when it comes to freedom of speech, I won't flex either. So when it comes to proving, there is a problem within the Muslim community. There's a problem within the Muslim community, and they need to sort it out. I'm sick and tired of talking about it.
Where is your evidence? Where is your evidence?
Can't take over everything from your humanity.
Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to battle box. We've got to do one battle first, bro. It don't take. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. Man, for the whole nation, we've got to go one
He doesn't even know toothpaste, man. He doesn't want to know.
He's saying one at a time, yeah? He's saying one at a time. We deal with the issues one at a time. So I'm saying, if you're dealing with something as serious as sexual assault and rape, yeah, why would you start at the smallest demographic of people?
Because that's the easiest one to win, no?
No, it ain't. Fight a battle. Listen, don't be a coward.